Hello, it's Ali from SpoilerTV, and I'm here today with Miguel Rodarte. How are you doing today, Miguel?
Very well. Very happy to be here. Happy to talk to you.
Yes, we're so excited to talk with you today, and especially about Sierra Madre.
Yes.
Congratulations on the upcoming show. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much. Very happy with the results so far.
So excited to see it. So I have to ask, what was it like filming Sierra Madre?
Well, for one thing is that we had to do it all in Monterrey, which is a city where the whole story develops, especially within a little county that's inside Monterrey, a little municipality, if you may. It's called San Pedro. So it's like a little, I would say, like a little Monaco, like a little Vatican within the city, because it's the richest county in Latin America, and so that's the atmosphere, and the character I portray, and these are the founders of the city. So for many generations they've been always very privileged, and they were the ones that created the industry in the city, and they have this massive fortune, um, that makes them a very special kind of people. And so within all those eccentricities, being in Monterrey for 5 months, and that's the city where I went to college at as well. So it helped me revive many of my college years, but also that gave me the chance to get to know the local culture, the way that it behaved, and so it gave me a lot of input, my own experience to tell the story. And
Oh, that's so cool. So
so it
kind
was,
of came, oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're good. You're good.
So
Sorry.
kind of came full circle for you. You went to college there and then you went back to film there.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was as if it was meant to be, because that's also the place where I did my first short film, and that's where I had the epiphany that I wanted to become an actor. So it was a very special project personally for me. And besides the greatness of the story, and the team that I worked with, it was also a very personal place for me to shoot at.
That's amazing. Now, did you go to school there for acting, or is that something that kind of came along
I
down?
went to college for in business, before doing acting. Um, so I did my marketing. I majored in marketing, and then after that, then I went to drama school and started doing my passion, which is I wanted to be in films, and that was my main drive. And so that's how it all started at school while I was in college. And then immediately I recognized that I needed to make movies my life, and so here I am.
Congratulations that it all worked out. That's so exciting.
Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. So, what can you, without too many spoilers, what can you tell us about your character in Sierra Madre?
Without too many spoilers, this is a very it's a very well armed story. It's a formed story, I would say. It's a mix, like a Mexican mix of Succession with Narcos, and a bit of Gossip Girls, if you may. Um, but all Mexican. And my character, um, as I mentioned, he's one of the founders. He's like he's part of the 1% of the population who has all these huge fortunes. And so when he doesn't get the succession of the family business that he was expecting, um, he in revenge, you may say, or as to get back to the family, he decides to become major of the city. And so he runs for major as an independent to show him that he's capable of doing things that are presentable, which is very important in his family. And so that's how it all starts with Marcos Parra. That's the name of the character. And so so that's pretty much where he starts getting involved in the wellness or taking care of the well-being of the community. But then, this happens in a period of time where the violence outside and the drug cartels are very strong. And so this is the story of how my characters manages to keep the violence away from his county, and how he does that. That's what we're about to see in the series.
Okay, we're looking forward to it. And I know I said no spoilers, and that's so funny coming from Spoiler TV, but
Exactly. I mean, if the only spoiler I can give you is that it only gets better as it goes by.
Okay, that's a good
I mean,
one. That's a good one.
yeah, because it
So,
really, yes.
oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you again, but
I
do you
mean,
see?
this is it's right now is on the 8th episode, so
Okay,
the whole series is 9 episodes long.
okay, so we're
So we're
almost
about
there.
to show the finals, the season finale, and we are very excited about that. The reaction of the people has been amazing. It happened in Mexico. We just had like elections 2 days ago, and
Mhm.
so it comes out in a very appropriate climate for the series to be seen and get entertained, but as well think about the things that the series are telling you about politics in Mexico.
Yeah, definitely. And do you see any similarity between yourself and Marcos?
Well, I went to a very deep like um, inspection, or like a deep just trying to discover the deepness of Marcos, what were his real motivations.
Mhm.
And I came to a phrase, a little poem from and that Billy Zane once showed me while we were shooting a film in Utah long time ago. And that I is something that I relate personally a lot with, which it says that I'll be actively calm and calmly active. I'm a prince of peace, sitting in a throne of poise, directing the kingdom of my activities. See, and that's the whole. And I brought that to Marcos, and that was something that it was given to me by. I don't think Billy even knows this, but it was given to me by Billy Zane. I took the phrase and I said, "This is perfect for Marcos," and because I personally apply it to myself as well.
Okay.
In a way, I try to find a way, an aspect of Marcos that would be not just that would be like a lot of generosity on his behalf in terms of he's worried about his community for real, and he wants to bring peace into his community, and that's something that also I can relate with.
Yeah, no, that's so great. That quote was really interesting, or the poem was really interesting. Thank you for sharing it. And I think hearing your similarities and how you bring them to Marcos, that's really cool. And I think it's always really fun to hear how an actor kind of like adds a little spice to their character by bringing in their own values or their own background. So that's really awesome. And I mean, you must have so many, but do you have a favorite memory from filming Sierra Madre?
Well, I learned to do a lot of things like golfing, which I never been, pretty acquainted with,
Mhm.
and I actually enjoyed it. Also, through a lot of how do you say when you arc
Archery?
archery as well. That was something that I really enjoyed. But especially living in the city where I used to live before, and seeing a bunch of friends that I had from the past, and I there are many things that I can tell you. There are many things that I cannot tell you as well. That happened within. But I can say that it was a very exciting project for all of the actors that we were there. I think it was handled in the proper tone. Everything it allowed us being there and just sharing the whole time within us together, all the cast, because we were all coming from outside, and there were some regionals one as well, but that helped to create the sense of community that so of course there were parties, of course there were times where we had leisure time together, and so we go out and just enjoy the city and learn and listen to the people and it just, you know, taking as much as we could. And that was very I think it just gave the series a very genuine touch. And so I don't know, is that I was vegan at the time. I had a great chef. as well. And Monterrey is very famous for his meat. So I wasn't able to eat any. But anyway,
Are you no longer vegan?
pardon?
Are you no longer vegan?
I'm not. No, I was vegan for 4 years, full vegan.
Wow.
Yes, but I decided to learn. I mean, to check because I started exercising in order to start building muscles.
Mhm.
So I wanted to just check what happened if I start eating meat again and see
Yeah.
if it can help me or not. I could always go back to veganism because it went well for me. I really learned how to do from whole foods, not all those processed vegan food.
Oh,
But
that's great because that's
yeah,
the hardest part.
yes. So and so it's very easy not to, you know, to not to compensate all your needs when if you don't know how to do it. So
Yeah.
it's quite a world. I loved it and it did very well for me. But and I'm fine right now as well. And I've been building little muscles. But anyway, I had
Oh,
a great
good.
chef. Almost fell in love with. Anyway.
So how does it sounds like Sierra Madre is a very special show. So how does this show compare to some of your other work?
Well, for one thing, I think the character that I play is in a more mature position. A lot of the other shows that I've done, um, well, many of them were a lot of comedies where you know where I would just be very out there, contained a little more within myself, and be a much more strategic in terms of how he you know processes everything. And before that, all the other characters were, you know, some of them had that quality, but
Mhm.
now I think that this is like a little more mature kind of, you know, character that I am. For one thing, and this is a spoiler, my character becomes a grandfather. So it's my first grandfather in fiction, you know. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
so it gives it a whole different quality. Um, the position that he plays as well, I think, is a very strong, um, powerful image that, you know, everything centers around his commands or his view or his what he says, but it's also seen from many other perspectives as well. So that I think that's what the story makes it so rich to see, because you see the same story but viewed from 16 different points of views. That's how
That-
they was written. So
yeah, that's awesome. That really gives you like full depth of the story. And I think that's such an awesome way that they decided to tell it.
right. And I
And
think if you watch it in other countries, you can switch the language, where, you know, the audio of the language, you can switch it as well. You don't have to read on the screen. But so that's also, you know, it could be some plus. It could be a plus for some people. I like to listen to every production in the language that it's made because I
Mhm.
like to hear the musicality of it. But and I'm used to reading it as well. But it's you know, you can also, if you're not used to reading, you can also listen to it in your own language, different audio. Remember, this is Max.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then what has been your greatest accomplishment as an actor?
Oh goodness, that's a good question. Well, for one thing, I think I have come to a point where I am working on projects that really, really, really interest me and that I really, really care about. I think that crossing the point where you had to work in order to be seen, where you can also just kind of like pick your and choose your own, you know, work piece of work. Although I like being an actor instead of being a producer or director of other position, I love playing characters. And so I think I'm coming to a point where the compatibility and the resonance, my personal resonance with the characters are becoming closer and closer. And the type of projects that I'm also playing, and I think that's a great accomplishment. Besides that, I've been granted the best actor by the Academy in Mexico, which also was a very a great accomplishment for me. And to have the recognition of your own industry is also something that is very stimulating, and it refreshes you, it motivates you, and it's, I don't know, it's been quite a ride for me, this acting situation that I decided to become, and I've enjoyed it a lot. I have new projects coming out as well, where you can see it also worldwide. There's a new series coming out on July 31st on Apple TV. It's called Las Azules, Women in Blue, which is also about the first story of the first, how do you say it in English? The first corporation of women policemen, the first women policemen.
Okay, so the first, like the first, I know what you want to say. I can't think of it either, but so
the first
group
team.
of like the first team. That's a perfect word.
The first women police team that it was ever happened in Mexico. So it's the story about that first team, and well, that's coming on July 31st, I think, on Apple TV. And it's also a project where I play a character where I form this policewoman, and I have a new film also coming out in September, which is based on a contemporary classic political novel in Mexico, or social political novel in Mexico. I have another series coming out after that, and another film as well. So it's been a lot of work.
I was gonna say you're busy. You have a lot going on.
Oh yes, a lot going on, and very happy about the projects. Very happy about the results of this. The Sierra Madre, I think, is the first one of all this, that new stage, the new period of time where you know, as an actor, I think I portrayed much more mature, and above all, projects that I believe in. So it's coming. It's a good period for me right now.
That's great. And congratulations on everything that you've achieved and that you've booked. I mean, that's phenomenal. And here at SpoilerTV, we cannot wait to see what else you have coming up. And we're going to have our eyes peeled on the screen for your name. So we're very excited for you.
Excellent, Allison. Thank you so much, and enjoy Sierra Madre.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the finale.